Hey, Cosmic Superstars, it's Teo here. Welcome to Honest Flow. So today's video is hopefully going to be a short one, but it's just a little video about self-worth and developing your sense of self and some important tips that I wanted to share to help you develop that sense of self. Am I making sense? Now, a little sort of side share before I get into the topic. So I know that when I'm out and about, especially in the club scene, in these social settings where I'm dressed up and stuff. I meet a lot of different people, and it's sort of instantly assumed that I'm naturally confident and yeah, that I'm just naturally confident. And I've always been this way because I've had an easy life, which again, no, that's not the case. And one day I will get really deep and dirty or nitty gritty, is that what you call it? But one day I will share sort of the full story so people really understand why it is I can do what I do and why it is I am where I am, because I've been through so much and I've always learned to pick myself up and never project hate and be unkind to others. I've always chose love over hate. No matter what happened, I chose love over hate. And I'll tell you, while I have a lot of support, I do have a lot of sort of background haters who like to throw the stones at me, but whatever. That's on you, that's on them, that's their character, that's not mine. So, back to this video. So, as I said, I have people who meet me and just instantly assume I've had this easy life, that I've always been naturally confident. However, that has actually not been the case. I've gone through a lot of different things, and I would say I had some pretty, how can I say this? Basically, my mental health wasn't really all that good, especially in my younger years, especially as a child, especially as a teen, and even, sort of seeping into my 20s as well. I had really serious mental issues, and I was able to mask it by sort of playing the role of the goofball and just making funny jokes and being silly and ha ha ha. But deep down inside in my mind, I was really in a dark place, and I would replay or repeat in my head over and over how ugly I was, how can I say, how I just didn't deserve to live and I should die and things like that. It was really dark. I was really self-critical. I was really harsh. I was berating myself left, right, and center. And this is why I just want to say, I don't think anyone can ever hurt me with their words, because there's nothing I haven't already tried to hurt myself with. I've like named myself the worst names. I have given myself hell. So I'm just wondering, what else can you guys throw at me? I know all my flaws. I know everything, because I'm my number one hater, really. But I'm also now my number one lover. Actually, not really, because loving yourself is a really difficult process. Like, to this day, if you said, "Do you love yourself?" Like, I like myself, but do I really love myself? I mean, I do, but I can't say it in a way that I genuinely feel it, because yeah, it is a process. I do love myself, but it's not like I'm so in love with myself, you know what I mean? Like, I even like struggle to look at myself in the mirror sometimes. I'm like, ugh, what is this? But I'm learning. Anyway, getting sidetracked, right? So I want people to understand that yeah, I had some really dark thoughts. Had really bad mental health when I was younger. And for me to be where I am today, it's taken a lot of work. It is a process. And I want people to also understand that it's not an instant fix. There is no instant fix. Like, you can't just suddenly love yourself. You can't just suddenly, you know, believe that you're worth it. It is a process and does take time. But I'm hoping that I can help reduce the amount of time for you guys to get there by sharing what I have learned for myself. So, before you can really sort of develop your sense of self and know yourself and love yourself and, really build your self-worth, number one, you really need to start looking at your surroundings. looking at your environment and the people you're around, and identifying who it is that you actually feel safe around, who it is that you can be yourself around and expand around, versus those that you feel unsafe around, those that you feel like you have to sort of mold yourself to fit their sort of boxes and sort of shrink yourself, dim your light to fit in, to be someone that you are not. And once you identify that, I think you already know what I'm going to say next. You're going to need to either eliminate those people or environments or habits, toxic habits that are keeping you small, that are keeping you from growing. You have to, or at least distance yourself. And in time, the more you distance and the longer you distance yourself, they will naturally sort of fade away in the background, right? But it's really important that you do that, because you cannot grow in these environments. You cannot expand. You cannot invest time in yourself, because the thing is, these environments, these groups, they're going to always sort of latch onto you and drag you down into the mud to be with them, because misery loves company, right? And the thing is, if you want to grow, if you want to, build your sense of self, you need time for yourself. You need to be selfish. You need to detach from these environments and choose you, right? You can't really find yourself if you don't invest time in yourself, if you don't take time out for yourself. But you can't take time out for yourself if you're always being pulled in by these people and environments, just constantly pulling in. So you have to make it the sacrifice and let that go. And yes, it's hard. And yes, it hurts. But until you do so, you cannot grow. And then it's important that hopefully you have a set of people or environments that you can grow in. And then it's better for you to hang around these people so you can grow. Or if you're an introvert, you can just go it on your own. But I know for extroverted people, it's much harder for you guys to do this journey alone. So I highly recommend finding people who are more suited to your sort of journey of growth, if that makes sense. Like finding people that you feel safe around. You need to have that environment to support you, because I know for an extrovert, it's hard. It's a hard journey. Introvert, it's a bit easier. We can withdraw, become hermits, not see people, and then invest time in our growth. Can easily give up all that shit. Easy. Extroverts, it's a little bit harder. So I hope that you will take the time to find people that are on your wavelength and are going to support your growth, like genuinely support your growth, not pretend. Not go, oh yeah, support your growth, but behind the scenes, like, oh my god, do you know what they're doing? Blah 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 blah. It's like, oh, so crazy, that woo woo bitch. Sorry, keep swearing. It's such a bad potty mouth. True story. I swore I F bomb in two separate wedding speeches. I really need self control, but I think I can't control it. It just comes. But anyway, so I want people to understand that it's really important that if you want to start going on this journey where you build your self worth and stuff, you need to remove yourself from certain environments, and you need to stop the people pleasing. You need to stop caring. Yes. Number two, stop caring about what other people think. Stop people pleasing. Stop seeking validation from external environments and seek validation from yourself, right? Spend time with yourself and start asking yourself those deep questions like, what is it that I value? What is it that I don't value? What is it I like? What is it I don't like? And sometimes it's easier to identify the things that you don't like versus things that you do like. So maybe write the things that you don't like, and then for your like list, write the complete opposite of the things that you don't like. That's how you start identifying if it's easier for you to, look at the things that you don't like, because we all know what we don't like. Like, I don't like obnoxious people who flaunt their money. So what I do like is down to earth people who are humble. Get it? Capiche? Anyway, I also want people to understand that it's going to take a lot of work, mindset work, to build your self-worth. And you really have to, they say fake it till you make it, and it's hard to do at first, but once you really get into the habit, then you can start really feeling that energy. You really feel like it's going to come true. And I don't know if I'm sort of being coherent here, but yeah, once you've sort of exited these groups or habitats, environments or people, you're able to sort of take more time to yourself and then sort of understand what it is you like and don't like and start really finding yourself. And then hopefully maybe like go research or investigate different tools out there, like, numerology charts, astrology charts, human design, gene keys. What else is there? Myers-Briggs test, Enneagram test, all that stuff that's out there to really understand yourself on a deep level. And when you do all those things, you're going to start being able to pick up your skill sets. You're also going to be able to pick up what your challenges are. And mind you, I want people to understand the challenge areas, the things that you're weaker in, the things that you're flawed in, your shadow aspects. These are the keys to unlocking your highest potential. That's the gold right there. So if you actually focus on things that you struggle with and your charts, no matter what chart it is, it will tell you what it is. If you can hone in on those areas and just work on improving those and improving that area, you're going to find that you're going to be elite. That's what I'm saying. You're going to be elite, because not only do you have your God-given or divine set of gifts, but you've mastered your challenges. That makes you an elite person, an elite soul. And yeah, I just want to sort of slide that in there and be like, focus on the challenge areas, the weakness areas. For example, my weakness area is communicating. And here I am on YouTube trying to communicate, knowing that I struggle every now and then and I blurt things in a weird way, but I'm going to do it anyway, because I know if I can master this, I'm just going to level up. Yeah, I'm just going to level up. But yeah, but once you do all that, remove yourself from your areas, do all your charts, investigate, take time for yourself, the next thing is working on your mindset. And mindset is, I guess, one of the hardest things, because the what's the word, the greatest prison is your mind. The mental trap is the hardest trap to actually get free from. And it's important that we really start learning to discern where our thoughts come from. Is it a place of love from our heart, or is it from a place of fear and hate and ego? We really have to start learning to catch the thoughts. And before we do anything or react to anything, let the thought come through and be like, was that a kind thought or unkind thought? And anything that is unkind, whether it is towards another or yourself, you must release it and restart. And I think that's something that also takes time. And especially like if you have low self-esteem or you have a lot of paranoia and all these things and you've been through a lot of trauma, it's really hard. I get it. It's really hard at first, but it's important that we really start getting into the habit of asking yourself every single time that you think something that's bad towards, like I said, another person or yourself. I want you to ask, where is this coming from? From here or elsewhere? If it's not from here, let it go. Let it go. For example, you go out and then you're in this environment and then you meet someone for the first time. Suddenly, you're like, I don't like this person. I'm going to ask you, where is that coming from? From your heart or from elsewhere? If it's from elsewhere, let it go and give that person that you feel uncomfortable around the benefit of the doubt before you make any judgment. And I think this is really important. I want people to understand something. Do you know the biggest and fastest way to evolve in this world is through human connections? The fastest way to grow and evolve and transform yourself in this world is through human connections. And it's the difficult human connections that make it more so. Truly. And so I find it. So I always think that while it's nice to be a hermit and nice to do things solo, growth, real growth happens through your connections with other people. Like, yeah, so it's important that we're connecting with each other to grow. And I suppose this is my journey, connecting with different people so I can grow, I can evolve, because my soul is on an ever evolving rapid journey, because it was in my charts. That's what I'm here to do. Rapid growth. And yeah. Anyway, I just really just wanted to touch on those things, and I hope I'm making sense. I'm feeling delirious, I'm hungry, and by the way, if you're wondering why I'm sort of a little bit more made up today as opposed to my lazy tay self, it's because I had high tea lunch with my mother-in-law and sister-in-law today, and yeah. Anyway, just know that anyone can change their path, because if I have, why can't you, right? Like, and trust me when I say I've been through a lot, and I didn't have this level of confidence. And if anything, I was very shy and very quiet. And yeah, I just had a lot of issues going on in here. But I am here right now, happily married. Not a perfect marriage, by the way, because I want people to sort of stray away from the idea that marriage is perfect. Or like, yeah, there's no such thing as perfect. There's always still going to be like sort of disagreements, but it's healthy level of disagreements, because like I said, we grow through our relationships with others, our connections with others. So yeah. Anyway, I am getting sidetracked and I should go, although I do want to pull one random card, and I'm very well aware that I'm very short and sharp whenever I pull these cards. Like, I say one random thing and then I stop. So we have 5 of Cups here. So in a way, it's sort of on theme. You know, if you really want to build your self-worth and stuff, stop focusing on, the past and all the trauma and all the challenges and all those things, and just start looking forward into the future. And just knowing that it is possible to change, it is possible to grow, it is possible. Anything is possible. And I'm going to continue posting these random videos and show you guys that it's possible, because I have a feeling that something's going to happen. I don't know when, but something's going to happen. And then you guys are going to believe me that it's possible. Because, yeah, I'm here to lead by example. So, yeah, anyway, guys, I am going to go because, yeah, like I said, I'm hungry and I'm talking nonsense, and the ADHD scatterbrain is really kicking in now, and I feel the back of my head is hurting. I feel like I'm putting too much pressure on myself to do these videos, but yeah, I love you guys, and I just want people to know that it's gonna be okay. But yeah, remove yourself from environments that do not serve you. Like, remember the fish tank, and then if there's one poisonous fish in there, it poisons every other fish. So there's only 2 ways that you can save yourself from this scenario. Either the poison fish gets removed from the fish tank, or you as a fish leave the fish tank. And then you can go do your own thing and grow and learn and all that. Anyway,